Moises Caicedo is growing frustrated by Brighton's hard stance on his valuation and wants the club to accept a lower offer from Chelsea, according to reports. The influential midfielder is keen to force through a summer move to Stamford Bridge, but Brighton have already knocked back 3 offers from Chelsea. Chelsea started with a £60 million bid last month, and their most recent offer, made earlier this week, was worth £80 million. Brighton are reluctant to lose Caicedo after he starred for the Seagulls last season and helped the club quality for Europe for the first time. Brighton value Caicedo at £100 million as they see the 21-year-old as a similar prospect to Declan Rice, who recently completed a £105 million move from West Ham to Arsenal. The Seagulls are determined to receive around £100 million if they are forced to sell, but the club's stance is frustrating Caicedo, according to The Times. Caicedo previously admitted he would find it impossible to turn down a move to Stamford Bridge, and it is claimed his representatives are planning further talks with Brighton where they will try to persuade the club to drop their asking price. Ajax director Sven Mislintat has hinted that Chelsea transfer target Mohamed Kudus is going to be on the move this summer. He told Ajax Life that the player and club are beginning to come to agreements that benefit the Dutch side if they need to sell him during this window. Reports have claimed that the Blues are one of the Premier League clubs who are interested in signing the attacking midfielder this summer. They have also stated that they have moved in a positive direction when it comes to agreeing personal terms with the player too. Now, Mislintat has claimed that the two parties are in talks in order for Ajax to get the largest fee possible for Kudus. He said, "There are clubs that have informally inquired about him. I don't expect an offer very soon, although you know that things can be different in the football world." The Ghana star is not the only player in the position currently linked with a move to Stamford Bridge. The Blues have also been closely monitoring Crystal Palace man Michael Olise. Michael Olise has been linked with a move to Arsenal as well. But Ben Jacobs has told Give Me Sport that Chelsea are very close to agreeing personal terms with the Crystal Palace midfielder. The French youth international has a £35 million release clause in his contract. Akabs told GimSport, "There is genuine interest. Crystal Palace don't want to sell, but Olise is very close to agreeing terms with Chelsea. Obviously, players can agree terms have multiple clubs, so the most important thing in all of this is whether a deal can be reached with Crystal Palace, but he is a very concrete option for Chelsea. Therefore, he is one to watch over the coming weeks." Olise is valued at £35 million. But Crystal Palace are trying to agree a new deal with the French youth international to get rid of the release clause. Meanwhile, Chelsea certainly have the financial resources to pay up. It remains to be seen whether the Blues can fend off the competition from Arsenal and sign the player. The 21-year-old operates as the right-sided winger, and he had an impressive campaign with Crystal Palace last year. The talented young midfielder picked up 2 goals and 11 assists across all competitions, and Chelsea could certainly use his attacking qualities next season. Chelsea head coach Mauricio Pochettino has responded to the club's interest in Kylian Mbappe. Paris Saint-Germain are keen to sell Mbappe this summer after he informed them he would not be renewing his contract beyond 2024. 90 Minutes understands that Saudi Pro League side Al Hilal have made a club record offer of £259 million for the striker accepted by PSG, although he will need convincing to leave Europe even though the offer was a lucrative one. Although Mbappe eventually wanted to move to Real Madrid, he has been closely linked with other clubs across Europe such as Chelsea. However, sources told 90 Minutes that it came from intermediaries on behalf of PSG to find an alternative buyer. Pochettino, who has worked with Mbappe at PSG from 2020 to 2022, was asked about Chelsea's relationship with the 24-year-old during his press conference ahead of the Blues' preseason friendly against Newcastle United. Chelsea are said to have ended their pursuit of Lion star Ryan Cherki following concerns over his attitude. According to Nathan Gissing, the Blues have serious concerns over the youngster's attitude, with Mauricio Pochettino looking to create a healthy culture and atmosphere at Stamford Bridge after last season. Cherki, who sees his contract at the Groupama Stadium expire in 2025, featured 34 times for Olympique Lyonnais in League One last season, directly contributing towards 10 goals. Gissing told the byline, "I'm told Chelsea aren't the biggest fans of his Cherki attitude." The 19-year-old wonderkid was seen as a potential replacement for Mason Mount, who joined Manchester United earlier this summer in a £60 million deal. Pochettino is looking to create a young, talented team that pulls together to achieve success. A lot seems to have been made of Todd Boehly's haphazard start to life as owner of Chelsea Football Club. It appears that ever since the American took over at Stamford Bridge, there's been nothing but drama and upheaval at the club. For the first couple of transfer windows, the Blues were hoovering up talent almost every week, whereas in the current window they are having to sell as many stars as they can to get back on the right side of financial fair play. It's almost as if supporters want things to go back to how they were under Roman Abramovich, but it may surprise many to know that the West Londoners were by far the worst-off Premier League team in terms of operating profit/loss during the recently published figures, which take into account the 2021-22 season, before Todd Boehly took over. As can be seen by the graphic below, courtesy of Swiss Ramble, only West Ham, £22 million, and Brentford, £26 million, were profitable during that period, whilst all the other clubs operated at a loss. The amount includes non-cash expenses for player amortization and depreciation, though it doesn't include profit from player sales. Looking at the graphic, Chelsea's £224 million loss is frankly unbelievable when you consider that Everton, the next worst of club, had a loss of only £92 million. Though it's accepted that most clubs do lose money at an operating level, Chelsea are clearly going to have to work harder than most to get things on a more even keel. Chelsea have reached an agreement with UEFA to address issues of incomplete financial reporting during the Roman Abramovich era, resulting in a payment of €10 million. The club's recent ownership transition, led by Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital, prompted the proactive approach to rectify the financial irregularities, which were identified as instances of partial financial information submitted in historical transactions between 2012 and 2019. This resolution allows Chelsea to move forward under the new ownership group while ensuring compliance with UEFA's club licensing and financial fair play regulations. The takeover by Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital last year marked a significant change in Chelsea's ownership landscape, following sanctions imposed on former owner Roman Abramovich due to his connections with Russia President Vladimir Putin.